Interviews with business owners and veteran executives who share their wisdom and expertise to help you de-stress, free up time, and make more money. Profits of IT. Welcome back to the Profits of IT. I am Jim Punzenberger, your host, and the creator of the Managed Prospecting System. If you're looking to generate leads and or appointments with partners or clients, be sure to check out managedprospectingsystem.com. I have Bryan with me today. Bryan, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about you.
Well, I am a lover of tacos, YouTube, running, but my background for this podcast is I've been an executive in the world of sports and technology for about 25 years and have been able to kind of blend those two worlds together. I have spent the last 10 years doing a couple different roles. My time at Cisco Systems, big Fortune 50 tech company that you may have heard of, and I've done a number of roles there, from sports to media, retail, broadcast, customer success, and customer service. And along the way, also have my own business that publicly you'll see out there either as the Bedford agency or one of our brands called Recruit Route, which we help kids and parents navigate the college sports recruiting landscape. So I'm happy to be here, Jim. Thanks for having me, and look forward to our conversation.
Cool. So you like tacos and running, or do you like combine the two? Like you
I run so I can eat more tacos. That's the strategy, Jim. I mean, I'm a big guy, so we got to run to eat.
I totally understand. I'm in the same boat. I love to eat, and basically I work out so I can eat ice cream. That's really
it's very logical. I mean, really, it's the gift that keeps on giving, as Clark Griswold would say.
Yeah. So what do you contribute your success to, and what you might say is your superpower when it comes to business, and how can others learn from that and
that's a good
learn from that to be more successful themselves?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think I've got an interesting career background that I've always kind of been aligned to different projects, companies, roles, whatever, where we're really taking ideas from incubation to scale. And I've really sought those things out, as not everybody is great with taking the clay and molding it and then making it into the fine piece of art or whatnot. But I really like that process. And so I go back and look at my career. I worked for a baseball club in my early days that built a brand new stadium, and I was there from day one when we opened the stadium. And so it's how do we take an idea and a concept and drive demand and create ticketing and systems and sales and promotions and all those things. I was able to have a role, a couple different roles in college football, where we took, one of those roles, I helped start a college football program. I mean, no logo, no helmet, no players, no coaches, no schedule, no equipment, nothing. And so how do you take that, get on the field, start winning games, go on and go on. I remember my time at TCU, and it was, we were in the, well before their time now in the Big 12, but it was, how do we take a 6-6 football program and win games and recruit players and develop our brand and our identity so that we can recruit better. And the 2 years that I was there, I didn't have a lot to do with this, but we went 23-4 in 2 seasons, and you learn a lot about yourself and what it takes to win and the commitment to winning and putting teams together and aligning a strategy and then just there's countless more examples. Those are fun ones, but there's countless more examples where we're launching a product or we're introducing something that really wasn't even a concept. My time at Cisco was how do we make stadiums more connected? How do we bring technology into venues that fans and the everyday man would want? And how do we take digital signage and immersive Wi-Fi into venues, or how do we take, IP into the world of broadcast technology that has used, legacy SDI infrastructure for 65 years? How do we do that into a way that, little did we know we might have a global pandemic where remote production might work and would need to work. And so I've always kind of looked for opportunities and projects that kind of align to that strategy of, can I take it and does it have enough headroom to really scale and grow, both for me and both, as well as the opportunity. And then superpower, unrelated to taco eating. I try to be really focused in on, I'm a salesperson at heart, and I was actually kind of talking and mentoring to someone at lunch today about really just the ability to do question-based selling, listening, trying to understand what's going on so that we can try to solve the problem through, an offering or a capability or whatnot. And so, that might be a superpower, might not be a superpower, but I like to think that what I've done really well as a sales leader and as a seller, and I've had both individual contributor roles as well as, I manage a staff of 30 now globally, just being able to listen to what they need and what our constituents, partners, or customers need as well. So there you go. That's my answer for
Superpower
you. Kick it
is
off. Yeah.
being able to listen.
Yeah,
in the
I think
sales.
so. I mean, I think listen, and then, not just listen, but also build a plan around what you heard, and if you've got a solution to solve the problem, then, figure out a way to insert that into it. And if you don't, then, listening's fine by itself, but being able to be a good salesman, I think you got to be able to listen to what's going on, what are the problems, and do you have a solution to solve it? If you do, great. If you don't, that's okay as well.
So does it start with then, so you basically, it starts with asking a question and then listening? Is that essentially what the
Yeah, I mean, it could be
power is?
simple as, why'd you start this podcast, Jim? And you're going to say, well, there could be a variety of reasons. Well, why did you do that? Or how'd you come up with the idea? Or why do you take this tone? And, what would you do differently? If you had $1 million to do it over again, what would you redo? And I could just keep asking you a series of questions that would unravel more and more about why. And okay, well, what's your biggest challenge? Is the audio setup? Is it the upload time to Spotify or Apple? What could we do? And do I have something that could solve, and I'm using your podcast just as a simple way to describe
Right.
it, right? But through that, you're going to tell me what's the pain point, right? And if I'm a salesperson, then I want to try to meet you at the pain point. That's the business problem. So now I know the business problem that you're trying to solve, and it's okay. Hey, guess what? I've got this, stack of knives here that would be perfectly whatever it is, right? I mean,
Stack of
you just
knives would be great for a podcast. They'll
yeah,
make the upload speed, cut it,
yeah.
the knives cut the upload speed in half.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, for $19.99, right, you can get these. Oh, but wait, there's more, right? But in all seriousness, I mean, we could take, the guy I was with today, he has a small business that he does on the side, and he cleans out tornado shelters that would be in somebody's homes. And so, he comes in and he cleans them and vacuums them, and I mean, it's a service, because it's like dirty jobs on steroids, right? But and I said, well, have you talked to the guys who sell the tornado shelters in Alabama or Texas or Oklahoma or Kansas or wherever they're at? He's like, no, but I need to. I said, let's figure out what's their pain point. Are they differentiating from their competitors? Do they need a reoccurring revenue stream? Are they looking for ways to differentiate, or, and can you fill that void? And so instead of you selling just to all the consumers, maybe you could sell through the channel model, right? And so, it's being able to ask those people questions about how do they do their job? How do they want to earn money? What's their plan for growth? What's their plan to differentiate? And every company's has thought through that, whether conceptually or like written down. They all have those ideas. And I think that, being able to listen to those things, you're going to get some ideas on, okay, well, I can get creative and I can think about how I can help you, Mr. Customer, or you, Mr. Partner. That's the way that I've always tried to do it.
Got it. So you have any final thoughts on this topic?
Well, I mean, I think, listen, one of the questions that you asked in there was just how did you achieve success? And I'd say, you got to align people that have your core beliefs and be around people that you trust. And I've always, when I look for roles, when I look at opportunities, when I look at different things that I'm pursuing, it's, I've walked away from certain situations or certain offerings that didn't align to kind of core values. I think you've got to have some principles in what you're doing, whether it's, location, travel, ethics, whatever it may be. Whatever you believe in, whatever you think is right, you need to stick to your guns with that. I make my home in Oklahoma City. That was a tenet of our marriage, to be close to family. That means I've turned down jobs in London, LA, Chicago, Atlanta, New York, countless times.
Uh-huh.
But I don't regret that for me or my kids. Might have meant a few more connections in the Atlanta Hartsfield airport. But I don't regret that because that aligned to who I was and what my family stood for. And I think that, that comes back to kind of just who you are as a person. And I would always encourage people to really be thinking about that in the things that they do.
Got it. So opportunity for an elevator pitch.
Yeah, well, I think everybody probably knows.
What do you like the audience to know?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody probably knows, plenty about us at Cisco. We've been around a year or two now, so I think, I don't need to do that elevator pitch. But what, the one thing that I've kind of recognized over the last, half a dozen years or so, Jim, is being able to have flexibility in their passions and having, I don't know whether you call it the hit by the bus plan or whatnot, but I've always known that the really talented people, the people that were generating great wealth, either they owned and patented something, or they owned their own business, or they were a doctor or an attorney. And I didn't patent anything, and I wasn't a doctor or an attorney, but I knew how to hustle, and I had expertise in some areas. And that's where I've been able to kind of align some of my passions from way back early in my careers around the world of college recruiting and sports. And so we've been doing that under the Recruit Route brand. You can follow us on all the social media platforms under Recruit Route. It's just a way to offer a service to help parents and kids and coaches kind of elegantly navigate through the college recruiting process. And that's been a great, fun passion project. It's also allowed me to differentiate our income as a family, but it's also energized and given, when I think about the combination of technology and content and video and education and then sports, those are great, cool topics, but you put them all together, it's a really fun one. So love to help any family that is listening to this podcast that needs help with recruiting. That's a fun one. And if people have questions about our role at Cisco, happy to help there navigate through all the fun and cool industries that I've been a part of in my 10-year career here at Cisco.
Got it. And what's the best way of getting hold of you, Bryan?
Yeah, I mean, I think Twitter's probably the easiest. Just at Bryan_Bedford, Bryan with a Y, and I've got. You can just reach out to me there. Hit me up with the DMs are open, Jim. So let them slide on in.
Slide into Bryan's DMs on Twitter.
Yes, please do, with tacos, please.
With tacos, taco
yes.
Emojis encouraged.
Yes, many of those. Yes, sir.
Got it. Well, thank you, Bryan, for your time here today and sharing your wisdom and knowledge. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Thanks, man.
And until next time on the Profits of IT, I am Jim Punzenberger, your host and the creator of the Managed Prospecting System. Looking to generate new clients or partners, be sure to check out managedprospectingsystem.com. Thank you for tuning in to the Profits of IT. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and share.